host, Ralphie, doing a live right now on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@Kiwiradio.nz. I have an exciting update with the grind that has been when it comes to finding a job in this market. Your boy finally found something and just literally got an offer a few minutes ago. So I hope I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, and also it's not quite full-time 40 hours. It's only 13 hours fixed. So, but that's better than nothing. Praise Jesus. My prayers have been answered. But I know a lot of you out there are still finding it hard to find jobs. What I've been doing is finding the job, finding a job has been the full-time job, still waking up on those normal office hours, getting down to the nitty-gritty, applying for a bunch of jobs and treating that process as a full-time job. But oh boy, has it been very difficult. And for me, I know it's been only like a month and a bit, but for someone like me who's a professional and has had some great roles and great experience, usually I'm, fending them off. I'm getting multi-offers. The last 2 jobs I applied for, I got like multi-offers, 3 companies doing it at the same time. Not quite the same right now in 2024. So beggars can't be choosers. 13 hours fixed is definitely better than nothing. But I just wanted to update you that I'll be okay. I start on Monday, and it's going to be, it's going to be like a month of induction, online learning. I've been getting some recent, I've been upskilling myself as well in the qualifications realm. Just got myself a trauma induction certificate, and also positive outcomes, and all these little modules that help me to build a new career in the disabilities sector, just looking after people in need, so things like that. So I've been looking after some Prader-Willi syndrome clients since last November. So what's that? 8 months as a casual contractor. And I've just kind of kept my foot in the door. I was doing it as a side hustle for 7 months on evenings and weekends, and doing what I could to kind of get my foot in the door, because I've been in the tech space now for several years, and I think being in tech is not the same safe industry that I once perceived it to be. I used to think that if I was in tech, I'd be pretty safe. It's a high-paying role. But I feel like, and this is proven with some roles that I've had recently where I had to even train some staff, and then later to find that my role became redundant because they offshored my role, essentially. I spoke in a previous video, you could have 1 New Zealand salary or 4 Filipino salaries. You choose. And I get it as a business owner. I get why they do it, right? To save costs. But at the same time, there's the human factor behind it as well. And I was scratching and itching and scratching, man. I was like, why is my CV just not being received very well lately? And like even to a point that I was, getting rejection letters the same day, and it felt like it was automation. And AI is moving so fast right now that I feel like it's hard to keep up. Someone said that in the comments in one of my earlier videos, it's hard to keep up. And I was like, there must be some algorithm or something working in the background as to why my CV just wasn't doing very well. And fair enough, I did some digging and came across a term called application tracking system. And I found a YouTube. Hey, DK Spiracy, how are you? Just updating my DK's there, so I'll just say hello, mate. So the update on the job front is I've just got a job offer. It is part-time, 13 hours a week, not very many, but the company I'm working with, they actually are investing in me to a point that I'm continuing to pick up online learnings in the disability sector. So I've just picked up a couple of certificates with them as a casual contractor, while I was doing the other job I had before. And it's just kind of come to fruition now. And I always find that that's a really good thing to have, is even if you are fully employed, I recommend to have those side hustles on the side, because they can always, it's ebbs and flows, right? They can always, I always find like, the fruits of your labor, you plant a seed and then it might take a couple of months for it to grow. And that's kind of how I've always found it, because I've had some shitty employers treat me so badly, not just me, but other people in the company as well. And I just find that it's always good to have side hustles, always. And this is proof in the pudding that like my luck wasn't per chance, right? I had to get up every day and grind. Same with the job hunt in the last month, and the last month have been so tough for me, and I'm like on the edge financially, right? So this news that came in today is like a blessing in disguise. My prayers have been answered. I've just been so, and like I was telling you, my good friend Monica, who was found dead on the weekend. She was at my old workplace, but there was high pressure in her work and having really crazy hours, overnights and things like that. And by the way, this company, I just noticed that they're still they're still asking for more people to join. But, it's like 12 hours. It's a job doesn't drive happiness. And like even this new job now, it's like pays so poorly compared to my previous, roles in technology. The tech sector used to pay really well, and now it doesn't, obviously, because everything's offshore. But so I'm having such a big haircut. But I will say that this new opportunity is local, so I wouldn't have to travel as far. And plus, I think it's just the start of a new journey as well, because apparently I'm going to be introduced to some other clients as well to up my hours and hopefully get their endorsement as well. So I'm really looking forward to working in the disability sector. It's really rewarding for me. Someone that's got huge empathy for others that are, not in the same situation. Like there's a lot of families that need help, right? And so I feel like without, putting an S on my shirt and starting to call myself Superman, it's my way of saying, hey, look, it doesn't pay very well, but it can be really rewarding, helping others. So I'm really excited. Apparently my, official job offer will come by Monday, and I'll be on the payroll by Monday. 13 hours fixed. It's better than nothing, but wow, what a relief. So hoping, I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but it's looking good. So I just wanted to give you guys an update. DK, how are you doing over there in your side of New Zealand? Thanks for tuning in. I do have a landline if you want to chat to me. It's 09889 8555. That's 09889 8555 if you have the time, and etc. DK is in the chat saying, hey Rob, yeah, AI is wrecking a lot of sectors. Yeah, is Rob actually in the chat? He is. Big Rob's there too. So Big Rob is saying tech is dead. It can't be done offshore and by AI. Honestly, guys, as an audio engineer, so this was my personal professional route. I did audio engineering and got diploma there. So obviously, naturally, I'm very technical. But I never, other than working for a mainstream television company for a while, other than that, the other industries that I've worked in did not really relate to my course. And I'm sure a lot of people relate to that. They trained for something, but kind of did a fork in terms of their professional career. And for a while, tech industries, because it felt like we had a skill, like knowing how to read manuals or being just really logical and things like that, and troubleshooting and coming up with novel solutions to problems. That kind of thinking was kind of valued. And before, I felt like companies had the resources to invest in their staff. So that meant training, upskilling. I mean, dear Lord, I know someone in my personal circles that works for one of the major grocery chains and never went to university and is now like the manager nationally, like really high up, right? 6-figure salary, but never really went down the university route. But at the same time, he got in so early, like I'm thinking, 20 years ago kind of thing, that they were willing to invest back in him, right? So he, started off as the guy pushing trolleys, then checkouts, then the manager of the freezer aisle or whatever. And then it just kind of kept building his career. And they did all the investment in this person, the upskilling, the training. I felt like companies back in the day had those resources. But now with the advent of AI, with the advent of offshoring, with the advent of just everything, right? It's a race. I've said it before. It's the race to the bottom. Everyone's competing. You're no longer competing for a local market because of remote working. You're literally competing for the world, right? So, anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I thought I'd start off the show and with a bit of an update that I think I'm going to be okay. Fingers crossed. I'll still be borderline breadline because the pay is not very good and the hours still are not 40 hours that I need, but it is better than nothing. So hallelujah. But anyways, I have 2 videos I want to play for you today because I got so frustrated during that month of job hunting every day. I felt like I was applying for 100 companies, 100 jobs, and no one was really responding. I was being ghosted. And I was like, why is that? It feels like my resume is just put into an AI algorithm. And sure enough, I did some digging and I found that is the case. It is not new in 2024. They've been doing it for some time now, a couple of years, but I think it's just being perfected as we go. So what is application tracking system? What is ATS? Here is a little introduction.
Are you tired of applying to jobs and getting no response? Say you've applied for so many positions and messaged tons of employers, and still you've heard nothing but crickets. I'm Sinead, and I'm here to tell you that no matter how frustrated you may feel applying to jobs and getting zero feedback, do not, I repeat, do not question your abilities. Instead, let's evaluate how recruiters determine which candidates, or resumes rather, get chosen, and which do not, and why. Enter the applicant tracking system, or the ATS. Coming up in this video, we'll tell you what exactly an applicant tracking system is, how it works, and give you tips to ensure that your resume is optimized for an ATS. Like a lot of things in today's world, the recruitment process can be automated. Recruiters have to look through hundreds of resumes. So in order to speed up the process of finding those who best fit the job requirements, an applicant tracking system pulls specific data and skills that the recruiter is looking for. For example, if Sally from Coffee Mugs Incorporated is looking for a Java developer, including skills like object-oriented programming or Python could increase her interest in your resume, thus increases your chances of being seen. And while not every company uses an ATS, it is so important to know how they work and how to beat them, especially considering that 99% of Fortune 500 companies use them and small to medium businesses are quickly following suit.
Just pausing on that thought, right? 99% of the Fortune 500 companies are using ATS, automatic tracking systems. So what does that tell me? All the good white collar jobs, first of all, you're competing very dearly for those spots. But at the same time, you might not even get the chance to get your foot in the door. You could have something, a quality that's within you that doesn't translate to paper, right? That's why I always find that having the in-person interview is really key to see if you fit the current culture. But with ATS or algorithms sifting through resumes, there is that chance that even though you are a great fit or you have really unlocked potential, you're not even getting that foot in the door. 99% of good paying jobs in technology, I'll use technology as an example because that's the field that I was in, so that's my area of expertise, I guess, in my own Overton window. But even that, right? So let's continue and comment, like, below, subscribe, get me to 1,000 if you can, so I can monetize this channel. We're halfway there. Share this link. But yeah, like and comment. Big Rob and DK, thanks for being with us today. Let's continue.
Within the hiring process, an ATS comes between candidate supply and applicants are screened. See, once you submit your resume, the ATS scans and interprets your information and then categorizes your experience into buckets like education, skills, and experience. And then once your information is sorted, it's instantly compared to the job description. The ATS scans for keywords like areas of experience, skills, and other qualifications like certifications and degrees. It then ranks your resume based on how well your information matches the job description. And the higher your resume is ranked, the more prioritization your resume will get. Now, if you want to be sure that your resume is exactly where it needs to be in order to ensure that you're getting the best job opportunities, you can get an instant scan of your resume right up here.
Okay, and pausing the video there. So DK Conspiracy is in the chat saying, I could tell you what to put on a CV to get you on top of the list, but it might get chat shut down. If we are shut down, guys, I always say we've got our own platform at Kiwiradio.nz. These will be recorded. I'm recording it now on an external device. So even if YouTube does shut me down midway, it continues to record and I'll just kind of do it off here, upload it later on Kiwiradio.nz. Yeah, don't worry about it, mate. Like I say, we're just using YouTube as an extended platform, really. So let's not rely on their systems. Nitin is in the chat saying, hello, how you doing, mate? Again, open lines 09889 8555, or you can call me on Skype if you've already got my details. That includes you, Nitin, DK, anyone listening. Let's continue.
Okay, so there are two main areas where you can optimally,
because that just tells you how to do it. But if you wanna look up these tips and stuff like that, just look it up in your own time. What I want to cover in this video itself is giving people the tools to say that, hey, what's going on right now is not specific to you. It is not specific to individuals. We're fighting algorithms. Nitin, just because you've just joined in, I was just telling everyone in the chat, I found myself some part-time work of 13 hours a week, which starts this Monday in a couple of days. So at least I've got, I'm not doing zero because, oh my goodness, I am so on the edge financially. So at least that gives me a little bit of a buffer. And hopefully, apparently, this same company I'm working for is going to be introducing me to other clients as well to try and get me endorsed further in the sector that is disabilities. So I've been working in the disability sector for about 7 months casually on the side of my full-time technology role, and I've just been doing it on nights, weekends. And I was just saying earlier that sometimes I feel like if you're doing those side hustles, it really might take a while for the fruits of your labor to appear. And thank God that I actually kind of lined up those opportunities much earlier, because I had no idea that I would be in this dire financial situation right now, living on the edge. Like, there have been days that I just can't afford food, and we're falling back on family, that kind of thing, because everything goes to bills. So it's been really dire financially, but the light is here's an example at the end of the tunnel. As always, you got to go through those downs to get through the ups. So that video there anyways, tells you about applicant tracking systems. And if you missed it, you can always rewind back to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Kiwiradio.nz, or MP3 archives there if you're a member at Kiwiradio.nz. Yeah, just play it back later. There's another video I want to play right now. And it's about 11 minutes. Is that okay with you guys? I think it's a really good video. It's from a YouTube channel called How Money Works. And I quite like this channel because it covers all sorts of presentations with the economy in every angle possible. So I'll play that. And if you got any comments and everything like that, I'll keep reading your comments out as well. So keep on interacting. Here we go.
Every app, every website, every business you interact with has a program working away in the background to show you what you want to see, get you to make decisions you didn't have to, and make you spend as much as you're absolutely willing to on stuff you didn't know you needed.
Amazon used an algorithm to test how much it could raise prices in a way that its competitors...
$40 more at 3 a.m. We know you want it.
The flight that was on sale for $150 yesterday is now $300. Oh, and now it's back to $150.
Well, that is likely the work of a pricing algorithm, a computer program factoring in supply, demand, and competitors' prices to adjust that price in real time.
In the country, Wendy said...
Okay, just pausing it there because I want to address that point there. Supply and demand in an economy, great. I don't have to delve into that. You're all smart. I don't need to explain further. But that's the same with the job market, right? So if for the last month, I've been applying for roles and there's 100 people applying for the same role. That's supply and demand. That is more people wanting jobs compared to the jobs available. And yes, there are elements of companies doing ghost jobs, so jobs that don't actually exist. You know, all those details I've mentioned earlier, you can just find earlier videos about that. But yeah, supply and demand. And do you notice, especially specific to New Zealand, so one of the jobs websites here is Seek. I don't even touch Trade Me because of all the scams I've encountered. Don't touch Trade Me, guys. Go to Seek. And you've got all those pre-populated details that you put in, such as your expected hourly rate. Not every employer is asking it, but a lot of it is. And how I think about it is those kind of jobs anyway are going to be minimum wage. Like, unless you're prepared to pay minimum wage, if you've got bills that you have to pay and you've got kids and mortgages and you're not a teenager, you've got more commitments, be prepared that those jobs, there's no point you applying for them. As soon as it asks you what's your expected hourly rate, and I think like a good 90% of them ask, they're gonna be you're bidding for, it's a bidding war. They're going to be paying the least amount possible. They don't care about your experience. They don't care about you as a person. They don't care about you as a culture fit. They don't give a crap. You're just a number. And they want to save, save, save. I've seen this in previous podcasts, right? Especially companies that are in the stock market. It's not about ethical outcomes, right? It's it's all about the stakeholders. That's all they care about. Okay, before I continue with this video, which has got another 10 minutes or so, and what are your thoughts about price gouging as well, or what do you think about that? Let me know. Okay, so I'm going to read your comments and then get back to the video. So DK is saying, think religion, put the right one on a CV and you go on the top of the list. Okay, I guess. Big Rob, I'm a member of a Church of Satan. Don't think that would help. Nice one. Unless I was joining the police. Oh, it's like a double whammy punchline. That's awesome. Big Rob, that's great. Carrying on.
That to test surge pricing, so the cost of your burger would change depending on the time of day.
A month ago, Wendy's CEO Kirk Tanner announced that the fast food franchise would be introducing dynamic pricing, a system where how much you pay for a Baconator would depend on an algorithm that balanced customer demand with...
Okay, quickly, dynamic pricing. This is not new. I used to work for an airline. They do it all the time, even to a point that if you're logging in from a different VPN or something, you might get different prices. Try that out yourself if you want. But yeah, this is not a new concept.
Store capacity. According to the company's announcement, they were planning to invest $20 million into this technology before it was rightfully ridiculed across the internet. This was a win for the little guy that just wanted to clog their arteries at a predictable price point. But Wendy's only mistake was announcing their plan. Dynamic pricing is already here, and it's making inflation an essential feature.
Speaking of takeaway places, by the way, a few weeks back, I literally got served by a robot at a drive-through. And a lot of customer service roles, front-end roles are doing this as well, whether you work in insurance or call center of some sort. you'll notice that they've got those automated chats and things like that. And how it works is they'll have predetermined questions and answers, like most common answers. And if your question is out of the norm, then you'll get a human. But there's a lot of AI involved. Robots, man. Like, robots don't pay mortgages. Come on, people.
Algorithms aren't bad. They are just a tool that can be used for good or evil. And as someone whose job relies on appeasing one very particular algorithm, I would like to say that they can do some good. But since companies and their shareholders prioritize profits and user growth, algorithms in the hands of companies are going to be used as a tool to maximize profit and user growth. The algorithmification of everything we interact with has had some side effect, to put it mildly. But one such side effect that isn't as obvious as the addiction to the endless swipe is how it has made everything so expensive all the time. The book The Everything War, written by Wall Street Journal reporter Dana Mattioli, details how Amazon uses its market power to force prices up for everything you buy, not just in their online store, but in every store across America. According to the author's research, interviewing multiple businesses selling their products through Amazon, the online retailer contractually required that sellers list their goods on Amazon at their lowest price. That doesn't sound so bad. The lowest possible prices on a wide selection of products are why people like shopping on Amazon. But from those low prices, the businesses have to pay their cut to Big Daddy Bezos and pay for Amazon fulfillment, which is more expensive in most locations than regular shipping because of the emphasis that Amazon puts on same-day or next-day fulfillment. If a business is selling a $20 product and it costs them $5 to sell and have it shipped through Amazon, then they should charge $25 to cover their costs. But that would make it more expensive than their other sales options like traditional retailers, breaching their agreement with Amazon. So instead of dropping their prices for Amazon, businesses just raise their prices at places like Walmart, Target, and even their own website, making everything more expensive across the market. While the company was officially pressured to do away with this practice in 2019 by the Federal Trade Commission, it still happens. Only now, instead of a formal agreement between sellers and Amazon, an algorithm detects prices that are not competitive with other retailers and buries their product on the second or third page of search results, killing their business. The degree of separation between the company and its algorithm lets them claim that their automated program was just acting in the best interests of their customers without formally breaking any rules. I will leave a link to the book below. It's definitely worth a read, although unfortunately, the cheapest place you can pick it up is on Amazon. Now, the bad news is that Amazon and its algorithms are probably the least damaging to your personal finances when compared to the other algorithms slowly ratcheting down on your job, your rent, your healthcare, your insurance, your debt, and your taxes. So it's time to learn how money works to find out how mathematical models mandated inflation. This week's video is sponsored by Brain.fm.
We don't like ads. We don't like native ads, so let's just skip that. Okay, so we've got about, 6 minutes of the video if you want to keep watching it. Do you guys find this interesting? But basically, to summarize why I'm playing these videos is to just get people knowing that it is the Matrix literally out there. But the jobs aren't killing us with guns. The robots aren't physically killing us with guns as they do in the Matrix movie, but they are. It's financial warfare, isn't it? It's a race to find who gets those jobs. And I'll just read some of your comments because I think it's good to interact. So Big Rob is saying no one can compete with a robot. They don't eat, need a home, socialize, travel, have baby. Robots, nothing. Work 24/7. Yeah, exactly. There are companies, evil companies out there that will, tell pregnant women that they're no longer employed because they got pregnant. That kind of thing, right? It's just, it's disgusting. So skipping this ad, it's got about 6 minutes left, so let's continue. And yeah, DK, would love you to call in, mate. Let's do a one-on-one. 09889855 if you want to do that.
2 months ago, the Federal Trade Commission released a statement explaining that price fixing by algorithm is still price fixing. The release was specifically targeted at a new type of software that was marketed towards landlords and real estate agents as a way for them to get the highest possible price for their rental property. The program in question, without even the slightest bit of self-awareness, was called Rent Maximizer, and according to the FTC, it, along with similar programs, were used to determine rental prices for tens of millions of families across America. The program uses market data, along with other proprietary systems, to come up with the highest possible price that a property can confidently be rented out at. It also uses data from all of the other property managers in the area to make sure that it wasn't recommending prices that would undercut other landlords. The FTC has concluded that this is just straight up illegal price fixing. Price fixing is an illegal act, which is when two or more businesses agree to raise their prices to maximize revenue without properly competing with one another. This is especially damaging to consumers when the product being price fixed is an essential good like food, water, or a place to live in.
Okay, I've just got a message right now from a friend saying, I've been watching your live streams, too political for Kiwi Radio. Like, first of all, I don't get paid for this shit. Second of all, Kiwi Radio is like my little baby, right? It's like my little hobby thing. It's a poor return on time, return on investment. It's like, I used to work for an FM station, okay? And my goal is not to be like a big radio station. I've said it before, it's not about reaching more people, but it's about reaching fewer people, but deeper connections. So I'm doing it for me as much as for you guys, you know, the people that I've gotten to know. Like, we get it, right? We get what's going on. We see the moving parts. But I'll just let that friend digest what's happening, because I feel like sometimes rather than like biting back and being animals and being two bulls bouncing horns, sometimes it takes time to digest. That's how it is, right? Because there's a lot going on geopolitically. And look, the fastest two topics you can talk about, religion and politics. That's the fastest way to divide a room. But without having the deep conversations, you literally become China. You really literally become an undemocratic country. Like, too scared to talk about what you think. And everyone has thoughts and opinions that, though it may not be right, although it may be a little bit skewed, or you have predetermined biases, right? You're still a human being that has a spirit within you. You still, you know what I mean? This is not a communist country. DK, haha, if they think Ralphie is too political, wait till I call in. Yeah, give them the truth bomb, DK. I'm waiting for your call, mate. 09889 8555. Let's continue. I'll give you a few minutes to, you know, wet your palate or whatever, but yeah, give it your all, mate.
By using an algorithm, the software company and the landlords thought they had a degree of separation because they weren't colluding on price. They were just doing what the computer told them to. The FTC does not see it this way. The good news is that since the FTC made
I will just have a quick WikiLeaks. So there's about, I'd say 1 or 4 minutes of this video. So I'll just play this out and I'll be back in a few minutes.
this release, lawmakers are pushing to make the practice explicitly illegal. The bad news is that none of the parties benefiting from this kind of price fixing are likely to be punished, and at the same time, average rents for Americans have already increased by over 30% since 2020. A report by the Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard University found that more than 12 million households in America are now spending more than half of their total income on housing alone before taxes, transport, and other luxury goods like food. Speaking of food, the Justice Department also sued a similar operation happening amongst meat processors who were using algorithms to set the price of their products on store shelves. According to the Justice Department, the companies that shared this algorithm were responsible for more than 90% of broiler chicken sales, 80% of pork sales, and 90% of turkey sales across all of America. But leveraging algorithms to increase the cost of the house you live in and the food you eat is still not the most damaging thing these programs are being used for. The world of medical pricing is too complicated for anyone to fully understand. Money flows between doctors, hospitals, insurers, and patients, and the system really just barely works. In between all of this, you guessed it, is an algorithm called MultiPlan that has been used by several large health insurers to cut out payments to doctors and increase billing to patients. A New York Times investigation into MultiPlan found that the program was dominant in creating a price for out-of-network care for patients across the country. Insurers would use the proprietary algorithm to determine how much they would pay the hospital and how much patients would have to cover themselves. As a shock to absolutely nobody, the algorithm decided that the insurers had minimal responsibility and that most of the calculated costs would come out of the patient's pockets. Rather than competing to offer better coverage to their clients, insurers could just use the lowest estimates on the MultiPlan program, knowing that their competitors would just do the same. further obscuring already ridiculously opaque pricing. The insurers have claimed that this system is essential to protect them from care providers sending them outrageous bills. Large hospital chains are certainly guilty of this, but instead of combating that issue, all MultiPlan really does is dump the excess cost onto the patient. Smaller
Okay, so yeah, give me a call, DK.
healthcare providers are also being hurt by this far more than the large hospital chains, which have much more negotiating power. The New York Times report interviewed a rural doctor who had
Oh, DK is saying he's got limited minutes. If you run out of minutes, I'll call you back. So I don't have your number, so you'll need to call in first to get that established. What else is everyone saying? Yeah, Big Rob saying, unleash the Kraken. Hadouken! Is that a Kraken? No, that's a Hadouken. I don't know.
had to close down their practice after MultiPlan insurers slashed their rates. Patients that used to see that doctor now have to travel 2.5 hours to find another provider who is still covered under their insurance. The insurers weren't shy about doing this either. According to the New York Times report, major insurers using this program bragged about how embedded this technology was in their claims processing systems. People paying for healthcare have even less control over their spending than they do when finding a home to rent or food to eat. People also can't choose a cheaper option. People can move to a cheaper house. They can't not receive a cheaper life-saving treatment. While this looks like the same type of price fixing via algorithm as the other cases, the FTC for now has been very quiet about the healthcare industry. Now, you might think it's harder for it to get too much worse than this, but it does. Algorithms have been great tools to part you with your hard-earned money, but their most sinister use is controlling how much you earn in the first place. If you apply for a job, it's almost certainly going to go through a site like Indeed, LinkedIn, or the company's own job posting. Unfortunately, handing out your resume with a firm handshake won't get you many interviews. When you submit your application online, you're much more likely to be rejected by a program than an actual human being. A survey by JobScan found that 98% of all Fortune 500 companies use some form of application tracking software or ATS. The remaining 1.2% probably still used it, but it was just harder to detect. Sometimes this software is just a way for companies to keep their job listings organized, as some roles could have thousands of applicants. But more have started using tools to automatically find what an algorithm thinks is the most promising candidate. A report by Zeti, a recruitment technology company, found that the average corporate job openings get 250 resumes. Only 4 to 6 of those resumes will be interviewed, and if applicants are lucky, one of them will get a job. The use
On that note, so the last month I have had probably 4 different interviews for tech roles again, or professional roles. And the other edge to that sword I've found, and this is just my opinion, is a lot of companies are hurting so that they're wanting to farm really good ideas, right? And there was even this one, how do I say it? There was this one interview I went for, and literally it was like a data analytics role, and I've done analytics work before, and they wanted to see which school kids. It was like an attendance coordinator role, and they wanted to see the data of who was attending school and why. And literally in the hour-and-a-half interview that I had, and that's a really long interview. Like you probably gauge whether or not you want someone by then. But they were just, it was like free consultancy, because I actually solved some of their issues on the interview itself. Like they were like, oh, we're wondering this and that. And I'm like, well, think like a school kid, right? And that they're wanting to know like why X person didn't apply for this, university course and this. And I was just like, on the interview, I said, think like a kid. Like they're probably chasing where their peers or their friends are going to go next year. And they were like, oh yeah. Stupid.
An overuse of algorithmic resume screening has created services where programs write resumes that rank well with programs that check resumes. Just getting a job is annoying enough, but the same tools that are being used to screen candidates are now also being used to negotiate wages with new hires and existing staff. If someone demands a pay raise, companies can use these programs to estimate how much they would need to pay a replacement, and if there is no cost benefit to them, they won't grant the pay increase. Most career guidance professionals will encourage you to do your research on the job market before negotiating a starting salary or a pay raise. Unfortunately for you, there is no reasonable way for a regular employee to have access to as much market data as a company with thousands of applications on file in a proprietary ATS system. Now, I'm going to be writing an article on similar algorithms being used to catch tax and welfare cheats. It might sound like a good use of technology, but it's been tried before with literally deadly consequences. It also never really catches the people it actually...
tax, by the way, this is a really good native plug. Just quickly, if there are any sole traders out in New Zealand, I've had conversations with the tax that it's been terrible. But check out HNRY, if you are a sole trader, and that will automate your tax there. I'll put a link on my channel. Hello. Just gonna switch you to go live. What's up?
Hey man, yeah, this is DK Spiracy here, bro.
Welcome
I thought I'd ring in.
Welcome to Kiwi Radio, mate. First time caller, long time listener.
I started listening the other day after you did Vinny's show.
Well, there we go.
A new listener as well.
Awesome, man.
New listener as well.
How are you finding the channel?
Yeah, so far so good, man.
What's on your mind?
Well, you were saying before about like one of your friends messaged you and saying you're being too political for Kiwi Radio.
Yeah.
What do they actually want you to be? Do they want you to shut up and comply? I mean, what is it exactly that your listeners want from you?
Think of the Matrix movie. You know the movie? It's that scene.
Yeah, of course.
It's that scene with the steak, right? You're eating the steak, and most people just want to stay oblivious.
Yeah.
But
I know this isn't real, and I know it's all in my mind. Yeah.
That's it. And because you're threatening their fundamental values of what they thought was reality, you're threatening that. They also feel threatened, right? It's the fight or flight mechanism.
Yeah. Well, because as he finishes off, like whatever his wee spiel in that movie is, he says ignorance is bliss. And what we're doing is we're shattering their ignorance.
Yeah.
So we're actually destroying their bliss because they're living in ignorant bliss. So the more we say things, the more it actually interferes with their ignorant bliss. This is why they have such a problem with us. Because they would rather live ignorant, blissful lives than actually face reality and actually think they have any way of standing up and doing anything about it.
The sad reality is if only a small amount of people stood up to what was going on, real change could actually happen. But why do you think most people want to stay eating that steak in the Matrix? What is it about that lures a lot of people? Is it just intelligence? Is it just knowing the word?
No. Apparently not. I saw like some data that was released about the level of people who are complying and not compared to their education level. And it was like, the more educated people got, the more indoctrinated they were. So it doesn't actually work as smarter people. Like when you got to the very top, the smartest people, like the top 5% or 3% or whatever, they were the ones that actually saw through it and were researching. But the overly educated people were the ones that were just complying because that's all they'd been told for so many years longer than the rest of us in their education process.
And it doesn't help that, the people that have gone down the university route and things, I always find that education that way is just really setting you up to be a worker, like a factory worker. It's not all about learning as such. It's just, you know what I mean? Like it's indoctrination to if you come down to the heart of it. And I think that's why a lot of people I know, even the most intelligent people, first of all, the ones with degrees and masters and things like that, when they come out of that indoctrination of 5 years or whatever, when they come out of that, they have been indoctrinated into the alumni. And that's why they call it an alumni, right? When you graduate.
Mm-hmm.
You come out of it and you've essentially been brainwashed, and then you go and you think you're better than everyone else, and you think that these conspiracy theories they're just like uneducated, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Dude, I have been in a waitering agency with the Bill and Hillary Clinton Foundation and with bankers, and seeing what they say behind the doors. Like, God knows what they're talking about at Epstein Island or whatever, right? I just got a small glimpse, but I could piece it all together already, okay? I'm not a typical troll that just looks at Reddit forums on the internet. But you can't explain that experience to someone unless you were there. Do I have proof that I did that? Of course not, because they've got 6 layers of security before you even go in the venue, and they take your passport, they take your camera, so you can't take photos. They're smart.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those Carnegie rules where nothing is allowed to be, or no information is allowed to leave that meeting.
Yeah.
Charterhouse rules. That's it. Charterhouse rules. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing that people don't realize. Everyone's like, "Oh, school's important. Education is important." Well, who started the education system, and when did it start? It all started in America when Rockefellers, Carnegies, DuPonts, and there's one other person. But between them, they took over almost every industry, including education in America, at almost exactly the same time. And it was roughly after World War I. And that was when they outlawed like all natural medicines, and you had to use pharma medicine, because it all coincided with Rockefellers buying up the whole oil industry, the whole petrochemical industry, then the pharma industry, and using petrochemicals to synthesize all the natural things that were already working, because they can't patent any natural ingredients. So they have to synthesize them.
Yep.
And for anyone to buy that, they have to make the free plant illegal.
Yeah. Just think of
And the education, it's like, well, I mean, you were saying before, it's like if someone made it to alumni, that's 5 years of indoctrination. No, that's just an extra 5. Everyone was indoctrinated from like 5 or 6 years old, for as long as they stayed at high school and shit. And then it's if you go to university as well. So everyone already got, I think, like at least 12 years of indoctrination. I believe that's the actual number of years they think that it takes, which is why there is that many years of school. So 12 years of indoctrination, and then you go for another 5. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people stay in the Matrix, right? Because they don't see past their own Overton window. They've been told told a book, they've been told X amount of words, but it's like, I always think of what I heard earlier, like, a cat. A cat doesn't know that the internet exists, right? It's the same. Yeah. Normies or people that are just in the Matrix, they don't know about the 5 eyes, likely. Or even if they've heard about it, they're like, they don't care. Right? Shit like that. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's okay.
Here's the other thing. To actually pass school, what do you have to do? You don't have to think. You just have to regurgitate what you've been told. That's how you pass. If you come up with something different, say something different that they don't want, you don't pass.
Yeah.
You just have to repeat what they have told you for you to be able to pass.
So it's
completely ridiculous. Yeah, it's 100. I worked this out at high school. I was just lucky I had a near photographic memory sort of thing. So I basically stopped going, and then the night before an exam, I'd just read through the textbook. And then I'd just go take the exam the next day. So I still passed everything. I still passed everything but it was nothing, or stuff, all of it was anything that I actually needed to remember or anything that was going to help me in the future. You just have to regurgitate that on that day and you pass.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Indoctrination, right? Yeah. Well, we handled the truth, man. We did it. We didn't go home crying.
Yeah.
So... DK, you've been a kind of person that have been I've seen in the chat room at thevinnieeastwoodshow.com, and I've seen you around. But to actually talk to you, I feel like, first of all, thank you for taking the time to go one-on-one here. I feel like everyone, you, me, everybody, we're so unique. There is no other person out there in the 7 billion people or whatever that's on Earth right now, or even throughout history, that is not quiet like DK or Ralphie or Nitin or Big Rob. And without you kind of giving these ideas out, like I would have not thought about what you just told me. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I love doing this stuff for some reason. I mean, Vinny interviewed me a couple of years ago, I think back in 21, as like the most banned streamer in New Zealand.
I need to set you up or something with something that doesn't rely on the existing systems, right? So we'll think of something, right? Because but then there's the other side of it too. What are your thoughts on? Have you followed about what's going on with Alex Jones in America? Because he's set up his own stuff, right? He's spent years and years and years building up this brand, and then now they're going to shut him down because
he screwed up though. As soon as he apologized to the people in Sandy Hook, that was an admission of guilt.
Yeah.
And basically what that did was that set a precedent for anyone who's questioning Sandy Hook. See, it wasn't just about him. It was the fact that if they find him enough, made it public enough that no one can question Sandy Hook, no one's going to question it again. I mean, have you got $1 billion spare just to ask questions about it?
Yeah, well,
same with the Christchurch mosque shooting, man. I've got a mate sitting in jail right now because he put out a video, and on it he had a link to I think he had a link to the actual video and to the manifesto. So he actually put the links on his video that he made and shit, and he's sitting in jail for it. Just for putting links to a video on his video.
Well, this is why we got and this, I can't believe I'm saying this. It feels like I'm in a communist country, but YouTube will be using their algorithms. They've already transcribed what you've said. And I get this as well. This is not always instant, guys, because I've had just videos disappear on my channel. They just disappeared. They're gone. They're deleted without notice, nothing.
To be honest, I know we're on YouTube, and I have actually been careful about what I'm saying. Every time I go live on YouTube, it's like it gets banned.
It's stupid, right?
So yeah, be careful.
But we do have a rating.
Even when I go on other people's shows, so I'm being careful.
But it's stupid, right? This is the gulag that we live in. But if you want to continue this conversation off here or whatever like that, I do a live stream on Kiwiradio.nz Tuesday night 7 p.m. and it's usually because we're interviewing musicians. Because Vinny put it this way: we don't fight the battle with facts, we fight it with emotions. And I think for someone like me who works in disability, right? We did a survey with our clients that have disability issues, and the number one and number two reason of what brings them happiness and what they like doing, first of all, there's walking, and then there's music. So I find that if I continue to deliver that format, and sure, I might do, because I used to work for an FM station, I might kind of Disney-fy it for some reason, but every now and then I bring a truther in. And it's like that gorilla like plum. So if you want to do that, man, so you've got the number, but Tuesday night 7 to 8 p.m. Just call in there, and because we'll just give me a heads up if you're about to do a truth bomb, and we'll just do it on the radio, have it as an MP3 file that you can download, because we can't rely on these platforms. At the same time, though. Unless you're gonna prepare to like do dead drops of USB sticks on your 20 closest neighbors, I think the word. Yeah,
I was sort of getting that. I heard you say that on Vinny's show, and I was thinking about it. Like, how many people are actually going to plug it in? They're all going to assume it's like a virus or some shit.
Okay, do you know what I did recently, man?
Thing that I have a problem with it.
Do you know what I did recently? You know how everything was locked down in New Zealand, and we had all this like propaganda signs. Right?
Yeah.
This is talking about like guerrilla tactics and just putting a little like seed of thought on everyone. I actually tore down some of those signs. Okay, I don't know if it was if you count that as vandalism or whatever. It was just taped
Shouldn't be
up.
saying because yeah, they do.
Yeah, probably. So there we go. I've just added that to my record. But so anyways, and then I cut it up in like 8 pieces, and then I distributed it to all the letterboxes. But this was in the middle of my frustration, and it probably did nothing. Right. But, if you get enough people frustrated enough. But here's the thing, though. I've thought about this. So the last election that we had, I think that in terms of candidates that were truthers, I think, what was it, 1 to 5% of candidates were truthers. And I actually got to interview one of them as well on my channel. So you might want to deep dive down that rabbit hole under the story mode.
Okay.
Story mode playlist. You'll probably see it. I interviewed a candidate that was running for office.
We got a whole panel of like at the community centre I was at. We actually set up a whole panel, and we got like 5 of the candidates from different parties to actually come in and do a Q&A with them, like before the local elections. It wasn't before the government ones, but yeah, before the local elections, we got all the people in who are running for seats in Christchurch. Well, 5 of them. The big parties, of course, didn't turn up. But yeah, we got 5 parties turn up.
Well,
it was actually quite good.
I like what Vinny's doing. So he told me that what he's doing is he's just putting like on his phone like little playlists of who's who. So, for example, like West Auckland or North Auckland, and if there's an event on, he'll just do a mass text to that group. Right, so he's maintaining local reach, because that's all we can do. We can't act globally, but we can definitely act locally. And there's been enough local movements, but at the same time, we got to be careful because, and I realized this when I applied for a security role for a data center. I didn't get the job because they kind of screwed me around. They wanted casual work, and they wanted me to apply for a security clearance, which is like $500 or whatever. It was stupid. But it got me realizing that we're all being categorized already, like using keywords, AI. It's like it already knows what type of person we are. Like, have you ever seen that video of the CCTV in China, and it's got the squares on people's faces, and it goes red or green depending on... It's like that. Have you seen that video?
It's not even... it's not even just in China now. They've already got it in America. I watched the video just the other day.
What is
that? They had it in a store. It was on BitStreet. I can't remember. I'll have to get... I watched lots of BitStreet videos. I'll look it up for you. I'll see if I can find it. Mm-hmm. Are you on either Discord or Telegram?
Mm-hmm.
You are?
Oh, am I on Discord? We're on Discord, so if you go on Kiwiradio.nz, on the bottom right, there's a Discord channel there. Telegram, I tried it out, but I don't know, I just didn't connect with it personally. But
then he started with a Discord, got banned on that. So I dragged him over to Telegram. So he's got a Telegram channel now because his Discord got banned. And it wasn't because of him. Someone said something or posted something in his chat, and his chat got shut down.
Yeah. See, someone dubbed me yesterday on yesterday's stream as the truther DJ of 2021. So
I saw that.
Yeah, you saw that. But my thing is, it's all about music for me. So that's
Freedom DJ, wasn't it?
Freedom DJ.
Freedom DJ.
But I want to say like 90% of my activism, like I'm still reaching out to the Gen Zers, new people here and there. There's some talented musicians in New Zealand, trust me. And so I'm kind of doing that. I'm kind of doing that because, for one, I think like artistic or creative people in general always come up with novel ideas to solutions. So it's partly networking, and you'll be surprised at how many musicians are actually like in the know. But at the same time, I don't think we're gonna win this without changing emotions. So I feel like I'm just gonna. That's like my thing. I'm not.
I agree.
I'm not Vinny Eastwood.
Look what happened in. Yeah. Yeah, but look what happened in like previous wars, like Vietnam and Korea and shit. All the music that got made, that was what actually reached people.
We need.
And I mean, there are some good songs out there now.
Yeah.
But stuff all, like, it's hard to find, good anti all this crap music.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best is a New Zealand band. I can't remember what the band's called, but the song's called "Heads We Win, Tails You Lose," or "Tails They Lose."
Heads we win, tails they lose. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good one. It's actually really good.
Is it
What's his name? Jason Kerrison is. Jason Kerrison's the main singer in it.
Oh, Jason Kerrison from Upshop. I've found it. I might play that. I might play that, man. Cool.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, that's actually one of the better New Zealand songs that's against all the shit that I've ever heard.
Now, this is hearsay, but I heard that Jason Kerrison, who's, singer here, he did X Factor, he did Opshop, whatever. I heard that he started waking up recently and that because of that, his label or whatever haven't given him the opportunities that they normally do, like in terms of like plugging or appearing on reality TV shows or whatever it is.
There's better stories than that about him.
Is it?
And yeah, did you know that apparently he was actually building an ark somewhere?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Is it true though?
Everyone thought he went a bit far when that came out and shit. So I think that damaged his reputation, to be honest. But I don't know.
This is the thing. Like you don't know what's a hit piece or not until you actually talk to the person. So unless it's from the horse's mouth. I haven't got a chance.
I haven't got a chance to talk to him. But yeah, that's just the rumor that he's actually building an ark somewhere.
Well, Jason, if you're listening in somehow in the future, just call in, because we need to hear it from...
Just give me a ticket. No, just give me a ticket.
I'm
in, bro.
Yeah, we need it. All right, on that note, DK, thank you very much for calling in. I do want to play another video, but this, first call and everything, it's gone great. Just call again another time. I'm just going to play another video, and we'll chat very soon, okay?
Yeah, man. Sweet as. Oh, good.
Yeah, good vibes, man. Thanks for the call. That is DK, everybody. Love it. This is what it's about. And I love you guys, man. It's not about reaching more people for me. Not at all. It's about reaching fewer people, but more deeply. On that note, we are a Kiwi music station, and it's really important for me to have musical breaks. So I'm going to play that song now by Jason Kerrison from New Zealand, Heads We Win, Tails We Lose. I haven't heard it before, so thanks for the recommendation. Let's play it right now.
It's the politician's story, and then there's the truth. Yeah, heads we win, tails you lose. Our love of one another will be our living proof. Yeah, heads we win, tails you lose. There's the politician's story, and then there's the truth. Liar, liar, liar. Now there can be no doubt. Your legacy is a government who sold the people out. Tried to keep my chin up, tried to keep my head down, but I can't do it no more. They say they want to knock down the doors with force. To do it, they change the law illegally under fake emergency. Power once became a peace to seek common ground, but no more, no more, no more, no more, no more, no more, no, no, no. Story, and then there's the truth. Yeah, heads we win, tails you lose. Our love of one another will be our living proof. Yeah, heads we win, tails you lose. There's the politician's story, and then there's the truth. Liar, liar. These traitors must not know the history. Demons doing the bidding, get shot everybody, not your fantasy. We say, shame on you. We say, shame on you. We say, shame on you. I choose to stand in the light, expose the lies.
We seeking them liars out, yes, we putting them fires out. Flee before them start rioting out, making them scream and them shout out. I can't believe what you're doing to my homeland, tearing down the nation and ripping through our freedom. No, that don't sit right with me. Your laws don't apply with me. I, the revolutionary, abomination to thee, not under your puppetry. I have a right and I choose. I take a coin out and I flip it. Guess what?
Heads we win, tails you lose. There's the politician's story, and then there's the truth. Heads we win, tails you lose. Our love of one another will be our living proof. Heads we win, tails you lose. There's the politician's story, and then there's the truth.
We're seeking truth, yes, we're seeking truth.
Coming for you now, there can be no doubt. We're coming for you now, there can be no doubt. Heads we win, tails you lose.
But this is what I like about art, and throughout history, artists, be it painters or whatever, you notice how they always, like, the truth of their time is always kind of hidden in their art, and that I feel like, I don't know, our artists in general, kind of the equilibrium of evil. I don't know. What do you think? Well, guys, that is pretty much the show. Most of the musicians are anonymous. Only Kirsten and one other came forward. That's the thing, because here's the thing that I learned from like the waitering agency I did with famous musicians. They are in the back pocket of who funds them. Like, I did an event once, and I'm pretty sure it was Elton John and James Blunt, those kind of guys. They were doing like private events for these like really old bankers and farts and things like that. You know, you do a couple of those a year, and that will be equal to a tour as such. You know, they're really prostitutes or entertainment whores, really. You don't want to bite the hand that feeds you kind of thing. Because, you know, if you play your cards right, you get to travel to Epstein Island. Have the time of your life there, I guess. On that note, guys, it's been a great stream. We've been streaming now for, I want to say, we've been streaming for a good hour. And that's what I like to do with these shows, is aim for an hour. That's like my vibe. After an hour, no more. And apparently, like, even really educated people, their natural attention span's like 40, 45 minutes, like if you're doing a presentation and things like that. I've learned that from the corporate world. So 1 hour punchy shows, guys, that is all about it. And I'm really glad DK called in. That's awesome. And if you're listening to this on the radio on repeat, we'll be live on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. New Zealand time, live there. We'll be doing music shows. Tonight, I'll be interviewing a country star called Stephanie Beck. She's actually on tour right now, and she'll be on the show tonight at 7 p.m. But we won't be on YouTube, likely. We'll just go on Kiwiradio.nz. We'll also go on our sister radio station, upfm.co.nz. So if you want to check that out, just tune into the radio station itself. I was been speaking about jobs, economy, so I just want to play this little testimonial of why I think it really is a race to the bottom at the moment. We are competing for slave wages. And this is a testimonial I watched earlier, and I thought it really connects with me. So let's play that. And then after that, we'll be signing off. So say your last comments and things like that, likes below. Also, if you can, let everyone know about this YouTube channel, about Kiwiradio.nz. It would be great if I could get to 1,000 subscribers, because apparently that will unlock super chats or something like that. I don't know.
I have so many stories just from the last 2 months alone, but I'm going to spend this time speaking on one place. Everyone's favorite bank. I'm currently in an interview process with a very large bank, and I have done 8 interviews. This process began the last week of February or first week of March. Okay, we're now at June 5. I keep having these interviews. My first set of interviews, it took 6 weeks for them to decide to move me to round 2. 6 weeks. Additionally, this particular bank does not allow you to speak to an actual human. They use like a generic email address like recruiting@bank.com. So you don't even know who your actual person is. So when you're constantly reaching out, asking for updates, you're not even getting a human and they're not responding to you. So that's issue number 1. So then I finally get moved to round 2. I speak to another person. Okay, cool. Speak to another person, another person. Now I'm at 8. Okay. Before I was at 8, I had gotten an email on a Tuesday and it says, hey, on Thursday, we need you to do 4 back-to-back interviews because that's the only day and time this team has available. My thing is, who just has 4 straight hours in their day available for interviews? I don't know. But I decide to comply and I do it, right? One of the people who's cool, shout out to him, he says, I'm not supposed to tell you this. You already know. You're about to get some tea when they say that. He's like, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I just want to let you know that for 4 months out the year, we work till midnight every single day. In office, by the way. Immediately no, right? Anyways, we move. So that now concludes number 8. Then the following week, I get an email that says, hi, Taylor. We want to extend an invite for a round 1 interview. Immediately, I'm confused. Not funny, how funny, weird, because I just finished number 8, and now you're telling me number 1, because to me, this is 9. So now I'm confused. Now I do it, because they also wanted it the next day. They keep doing this next day thing. So I do it, I speak to that guy, and then I decide to send an email to my recruiter, because at this point, I'm fed up. And I will insert it here. I basically say, like, I've done all these interviews. I've met with all these people. At what point am I done? Right? I get on the phone with the recruiter the next day because I finally got a human. And she basically instructs me that you will do as many as we ask you to do. If you haven't determined that I'm a good fit and that you like me after 9 hours, all different people, by the way, then I don't know what to tell you. This is a horrible, flawed process because why does it take this long? So now I'm just waiting, sitting queue patiently, because who knows if and when they're going to respond to me, because again, like I told you, it takes 6 weeks in between each time frame. And I just don't get it.
This is not a unique,
I'm here to tell.
This is not a unique situation. I've heard of stories where people are traveling hours away for an interview only to be kind of like treated like this, like automated into, and like it doesn't take 9 friggin' interviews to know if it's a good fit or not. This is what I mean. These are ghost jobs. These are not, or they're basically milking you for the ideas. It's free consultancy, right? I know a person that was a Dux in high school, and she's actually a robot scientist, automation, that kind of thing. The number of inventions she did for one of the big techs in New Zealand, the number of inventions that have actually continued on and given added value to people's lives. Yeah, no, she's not getting those patents. She was on a fixed salary, so that was part of her job. Yet they take those ideas, they patent it under the company, and because she was working for a salary, it becomes their IP, intellectual property. That kind of thing. I think the most evil people, the heads of big corporations, are not necessarily smart. Like think Bill, Mr. Gates, Uncle Gates, who, by the way, I believe stole the technology behind Microsoft or something like that. So it was that kind of thing. These people, because they're operating on a lower vibration or ethically, there's no lines they wouldn't cross. They need creative people, right? To get those ideas up for them, and it's so many moving parts right now that this freaks me out. Like you hear of Adobe changing their license description, saying that basically they own everything artists do on their platform, And people are like going, oh, well, that's great. That's a great way to get into AI, right? And you really got AI art and everything like that. Nissan, Nissan is saying Gates stole it. Yeah. Just, they're farming for our ideas, man. And I think that's why all these data centers are happening. Everything's transcribed, keywords, whatever. It's, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, DK, let's collab, man. Before I go, I did get a DM from Bindi over there in Australia, and I just want to read that out right now. Hey, Ralphie, I like what you're putting on your blog videos. They are good, very real. My son flew across the country for this wonderful job opportunity with the government as environmental scientist. Anyway, the whole process took 7 months from his encyclopedia level selection criteria to 2 interviews, only to be told after 7 months he was successful. But the position no longer existed as they had restructured current department and no longer needed him. He is a published scientist, my son, one of the youngest to get PhD in his field, and he can't get a decent job anywhere either. Yes, we are in Australia. Yeah, I think that proves my point. They're just farming for our ideas. So, what's the solution, guys? Let me know. Let's keep the conversation rolling. Thank you so much for DK. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into my little part of the web. If you are new here, I've looked at the analytics. Apparently 56% or something like that view my channels aren't even subscribed. So subscribe if you can. If you're not, let's get it to 1,000. That'll be really awesome. Yes, tonight we'll be going live at 7 p.m. So Tuesdays, 7 p.m. New Zealand time. So if you're listening now, that's in about 5.5 hours. So in about 5.5 hours from now, we'll be live again. So thank you very much. And that'll be on the radio station only as well, Kiwiradio.nz. That's it, everybody. I will be signing out. Thank you so much for joining in. DK is live 24/7 on DLive. Wow, man. Send me the link, please. Send us the link. Awesome. Outro song there, if you want to check that out, that is also on my Bandcamp, which is ralphie.bandcamp.com. That's ralphie.bandcamp.com if you want to check out some original music, buy the music, whatever you need to do. I'll put that up right now on there. So ralphie.bandcamp.com, and keep it locked on Kiwiradio.nz. See you later, guys. Let's sign out right now. Where is the button? Oh, yeah, here we go. Hey, awesome.